Good evening, people. It's a bit late. It was one of those moments where a WhatsApp call turned into an impromptu show, and we were on the call, and there was some breaking news. I think it was Anfield sector, and Josh and his boys tweeted some news about Trent, and we thought we'd start this transfer window month a bit early. It's the 27th, is nearly going on 28th, and I'm sure we'll be here in this sort of position for the next 30 days or so. Gene was in bed. We had to brush him up quickly, put a hat on him, and but Avi looks like he was just about to go out and looking very suave, I must say. But it's serious news. Some would say we're naive to be reacting to some marker propaganda, or are we naive not to even believe there's any element of truth in it? But first of all, how are we doing, boys?
Yeah, I'm sick as a dog. I had a bit of food poisoning at some of the last 24 hours. So we wanted to do an earlier show, but obviously Gene's not been well either. So there was no chip and Gene. But the news that's coming out of Marsa that, Trent's told his club and he's told the officials at Liverpool that he wants to play for Real Madrid. And we look at right now, it could be pure fabrication, but look, I was always adamant at the start of the season that Trent was going to sign, Salah was going to sign, Van Dijk was going to sign. My stance changed in October when I said, look, if he's not signed by October, then I would start worrying. On the eve of a game, we've got West Ham on Sunday. The timing's off. And you either put it to bed and say, look, I want to stay at Liverpool. And negotiations are ongoing. But you're giving room for Madrid to flirt with you now. They've got their big sources, Relivo, they've got Marsa, putting out articles now which ain't helping. So yeah, it's not ideal going into the new year, but here we are.
Gene, not ideal. You were feeling a bit better, but I'm sure I think you're back to square one now, aren't you?
Yeah, man, I've not been well, obviously, for the last 4 or 5 days. I really had to didn't go to the Spurs game, missed yesterday's game, been bedbound. And but to be fair, the 2 results did make me happy. You played well, everything's hunky-dory right now. And then, look, Trent's contract, Asim, everybody knows my thoughts on this, and I've maintained my thoughts for a long time, and I've always said I think he's definitely off. He's going to leave, and it's one of them. Look, he's an unbelievable footballer. We wanted him to stay. We still want him to stay, but if he wants out, he wants out. There's nothing we can really do about it. He's got another 6 months left with us. He gives us everything that he's got, and we say goodbye. There's none of this, he's done well for us. He's been a good servant, but he did ours, and he didn't. He wanted to leave. He wanted to move on, and if he wants to move on, and he's wanting to move on for a while, and deep down, I think we've all known for a while, he's deep down wanted to go. He's deep down wanted to go for a while.
Gina, I know you've been one of the big advocates, and you've been saying it since last season, to be fair, like since every time that you always believed that Trent was off. But why would you want to leave right now? After seeing the demolition job that we produced at Anfield against Madrid, being like Leverkusen, beating the big teams, being atop of the league, being on top of the Champions League table. Why now? Why would you want to leave this squad right now? And he's told us already that Arne Slot, the way he talks about football, it has me intrigued. I'm so interested. I'm in love with the way he wants to play this possession style football, and it suits my game. Why now, though? Why would he want to leave? That's my biggest plea.
Okay, Ed. James says ego. You know what? I'll tell you what it is. It's about him increasing his profile more than anything. It's not about him. You've just mentioned in terms of footballing reasons. Yes, every player wants to go to Madrid, but in the past, which player from Liverpool has left at the peak when we've been at our peak? When Mane, Salah, Firmino, Van Dijk, and all of these players, none of them left at their peak. The players that left, people like Suarez and players like that, they went because they were not. They wanted to probably test themselves at the highest level. We were not the best team in the world at that time. We are arguably one of the best teams in the world right now. There's only one reason he wants to leave: to enhance his profile. He wants to go to live there. Wants to be loved worldwide rather than just be loved by Liverpool fans as this icon of Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Would you not say the worldwide icon now, though?
That's up to him.
Would you not say the worldwide icon now?
But no, just to interject, Gene, but is that a bad thing?
Well, also, that's for himself. So he's thinking about himself, innit? Look, I have no problem with
I think he's
going.
known. I think he's known already in the world. I think there's people,
Yeah, he's
kids out in
he wants
America
to
and
go. Let him
Europe that
go.
want to be Trent
Sorry,
Alexander-Arnold.
sorry,
Is it? Is it me,
I
Avi?
think your Wi-Fi is playing up a little bit, but I know what I said was like I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is already known around the world. I don't think this is where he wants to be
Avi,
this
it's a
icon. He's
different
already an
level,
icon.
though. He's not an icon, man. He's known around the world. He's not an icon, though. When you go to Real Madrid, Avi, that's when you become an icon. When you players like Salah, they're an icon. Trent's not an icon, man. Trent's not
I
even the
think
biggest English player, bro. With respect, he's nowhere near iconic status. He's known in the footballing world. He's a talent wise, he's generational. But in her terms of his own enhancement, this is the move that he wants. And yes, they're probably money isn't the only factor. He's going to Real Madrid. They are the biggest club. You can't knock them for that because and it says all that in their stature and all that. But he's playing for the best club in the world right now, I believe. He's flipping. You're going to be a captain of your boyhood club. You're going to be paid good money, right? So there's no reason for him to leave. But I've known for a while that he wants out. He wants to move on, Avi. And if he wants to move on, I've got no issue with him going, Avi. I'm not going to sit here. A player wants to leave your Liverpool Football Club at the time when they're one of the best. F off. Go, no problem. We shake hands and move on. That's it. We shake hands and move on. No, none of this crying business and giving him all this, Trent Alexander-Arnold. None of that. We shake hands. Thank you very much for your service. End of the day, mate, we made you as well. No, you didn't just make us, mate. We made you as well. So there you go. You gave us your service. Here's your hands. Shake your hands and do one. That's how it is.
Ask him a question for you. You know, he's been at the club since 8 years old. He's come through the system. He was already known as a 15-year-old kid, earmarked to be this next sort of heir, like after Steven Gerrard, after the youngsters that have come through the club. Trent Alexander-Arnold is that next one, on that cusp of breaking into the first team. He gets his debut with Jurgen in that game against Spurs at home in the League Cup tie. Great. He's given his best part of his 15 years to this club. Yeah, we know that he's won everything. Now, if we go on to win the league and the Champions League this season, the two big ones in the same season, do we still begrudge him for leaving? Say at 26, you want to experience something new. Yes, he's good friends with Jude. He wants to experience a new lifestyle, a new culture, which is fine. We've all done it. I've moved from England to the States, and I might even go to the UAE in the future, whatnot. Everyone has some kind of ambition where they want to do, where they want to experience a different life. Yeah, people who are content in their life, that's totally fine too, perfect. But he might be in that sense where he's won everything at Liverpool. Jurgen was very close to him. He's given Arne a chance, more than a chance. He's on the cusp of maybe winning the league and the Champions League in the same season. What more would there be left for him to achieve at Liverpool Football Club? Because he'll have his status, he'll have his legend status that he has already now.
Are we not the best team in the world right now?
We are the best.
We might not have the history of Real Madrid. We might not have the royalty status. There's no other club like Real Madrid. I get that. It's the ambition for a lot of players. I think there's Jude Bellingham has a lot to do with it in terms of how close he is. He wants that lifestyle. Gene was touching on it. He goes to America a lot, hangs around with Jude Bellingham, this sort of celebrity lifestyle. He likes that. He likes fashion. He likes sort of thing, is that sort of image, doesn't he? And well, look, that's nothing wrong with it if you can prove. I think Roy Keane talks about it. Ronaldo and Beckham, these guys back in the days at Man United were those sort of profiles, and he might not be as big as Ronaldo or big as Beckham in terms of the brand, but it is that sort of profile, isn't it? But as long as you can prove it on the pitch, then you just don't get those the scrutiny, and rightly so if you can prove it on the pitch. But going back to Trent, Avi, is Liverpool fans will be within their right to be pissed off. Why? Because you're a local lad. You just get it. We're told about the loyalty local lads have. But look, we have to try to take the emotion out of it. I will be pissed off. I'll probably give him shit as well. I'm not going to react right now because I'm going to wait for news. Because Market is saying one thing, it's propaganda. There's an element of truth in it. Doesn't matter where you stand in it, stand in the argument. you have to understand is when Liverpool do make some official comment or Trent comes out himself, then you actually have take a stance on it. But everything is slightly hypothetical as things stand. If he leaves, I think he doesn't know what loyalty is, because if you've been talking about a lot for the legacy and how your ambition is as a local lad, your ambition is to captain this club after Van Dijk. He's part of the leadership as well, and then go. And I think you have a sense of responsibility of what that club gave you. I know you've been touching on for the last couple of shows is where he's given everything to Liverpool, he's won everything, but when you leave, I mentioned in the last show as well, is like Ronaldo wasn't born and bred in Man United, but he understood what Alex Ferguson took him out of from those Sporting Lisbon days and made him into a star to make that move. So when you do make that move, you also give back something to your club. And for him to be leaving on a free, then I think he has to share some sort of responsibility when it comes to that. Now, a lot of his fans will say, look, that's not his fault. The club's at fault for making this sort of situation rise, and he just took advantage of it. Wouldn't you take advantage of it? So there's a lot of aspects, and I'm not trying to sit on the fence here because, one, we don't know all the facts. Two, Paul Joyce and Co are telling us there's constant talks with these three players. So we can't make a definitive judgment on this situation at the moment. As things stand, everyone that you speak to, Avi, is saying Salah and Van Dijk sign, and Trent is the iffy one. They're using all these terms at the moment, but every single thing that we're even hearing from Liverpool is that Trent's not going to sign. A couple of months ago, it was 350 grand that he's asking for. He's never going to get that and stuff like that. But I'm concerned. Gene's been concerned for a while. I've been concerned for a while. I think I tweeted in July that I'm concerned about Trent's contract. So how it's materialized, I think the lack of information and clarity is making people panic. But we're well within our rights to panic. In a week's time, these three players can be talking to the clubs officially.
Gene,
Look,
but let me just put it out there. Trent Alexander-Arnold was always going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, we can talk about he was the perfect environments and that, but the boy had talent from day one. It needed to be nurtured and developed. That could have happened in any right club, right? So Trent Alexander-Arnold was a gifted footballer already. So all this loyalty that he owes us a fee, I can't quite get my head around it. Why does he owe us a fee?
Can't hear you, Avi.
Huh? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
About the fee. Why does he owe us a fee? He's been loyal for the last 15 years at this football club. He's won everything at the top. He's won everything at the top.
He's been loyal to us for the last. Since he gave us his debut, we've been loyal to him. No, so from 8 years old till 19, 20 when he made his breakthrough. For the last 12 years, who was loyal? We were loyal to him, correct? So we gave him 12 years of loyalty at that time when he broke through at 8 years old. He gave us loyalty, he's 26 now, for 6 years, and you think it's okay for him to say, okay, I've given you 6-7 years of my football, I'm off now for free. It doesn't work like that, Avi. You go deep down, especially if you're born and bred from the sea, Avi. It works differently. There is a difference. We can't sugarcoat and say there isn't a difference. Of course there's a difference. Trent Alexander-Arnold played for us. Yes, he was a brilliant. Yes, you've come to me saying that he was a brilliant. There's been plenty of players in the past that have had unbelievable ability, that were supposedly generational footballers who never made it. Liverpool did make an environment for him where he was going to make it work, where Trent brought him through, Klopp brought him through. So for you to come out and say that it could have been any club, I'm sorry, it doesn't wash.
Gene, I can't help to think the fact that the reason why Avi's coming out with this is he's used to people making him, but Avi fucking off in the end.
Anyway, look, that's another point. But on a serious note, look, Trent, he had to stay, man. He had to give us. For me, the biggest issue, Avi, is he's going on a free. That is, for me, is unforgivable.
So that's it's a money issue for everyone.
For me, look, at least give us that. At least if
fans will clap their hands and say, you know what, Trent,
I'll say, you know what, no, I still want him to stay. I would be peed off, but you know what, I'd say, okay, at least give us an extra year. Look, Bawa did it for Ronaldo. They shook her. They won the title. He gave us it. He said, okay, you know what, Fergie, I'll give you another year. Then I'll go to Real. They shook hands on it. There was like a mutual agreement between them, the clubs. He played for one more year, went for 80 million at the time, which was a world record fee, and they shook hands on it and then moved on. If that's how he wanted to play, if he really, really wanted to go, it was that much of a thing that he wanted, okay, you can sort of come to an agreement. But he's going on a free.
What about if
And you
Salah
can say-
what about if Salah goes on a free this summer?
Salah's at a different junction.
Avi,
guys.
Salah's
Why is there a different
32.
junction? Why is
One
there a
second,
different
one second,
junction?
one
Why
second.
is there a different junction for Salah?
Well,
If
hear me
Salah
out,
left
hear me
this
out.
summer,
Salah wants to. Salah's made it clear, crystal clear. I want to stay at this football club. What else does he need to do? Van Dijk has made it crystal clear. Even yesterday, Van Dijk came out and said, I love this club and the club love me. There's a reason why Trent didn't want his contract to be played out in public, bro. Let's face it, because deep down, he's known. Even though people can say in the past, he never played him out in public. Yes, he probably did past, but the past, he never near Real Madrid knocking on the door. Salah was bought in. It is slightly different. I mean, Salah's 32 years old. So you can't begrudge Salah in a sense saying, okay, you know what?
Salah should be here for the next
Salah,
I would
if
with
Salah
Bawa.
said to me, if Salah said to me, I'm
But,
going.
but Avi, here's a
you
question
still
for
think
you.
Salah's got another
Here's a-
3 years though at the top. So why are you
Yeah,
saying
it
he's
does.
32? Age doesn't matter at this point with Salah.
Avi, it does look.
Of
What
course it
I'm
does.
trying
Of
to
course
say,
it
what
does.
I'm trying to say is, he's given us all the best, all of his best, the best part of his career.
You don't think
Yeah.
Trent's given us his best years?
It's Trent's got flipping 6 years. He's 26.
Trent's peak is now, Avi.
Come on, bro.
This is
We're,
his big contract.
we're losing our generational talent for free.
I don't know.
Avi, do you
it's
think?
loyalty. I think football. I think people need to realize that loyalty has been dead for a long time in football. And this because he's a scouser, he's born in Liverpool, he owes us £100 million fees and that. I think that's a little bit garbage. He doesn't owe us anything. He's given us his time as well. We've seen
Giving us what, Avi, man?
We've seen him like assist.
Are we not giving him anything?
He's an out. No, but these what I mean. There should be an amicable agreement that if he wants to go to Real Madrid, I'm in that fence. If he goes, he goes. If he
How
stays,
is it amicable when he's going on the free, Avi?
why do we deserve a fee? Why?
Because he's one of our biggest assets. Do you think his representatives are a problem, Avi?
Oh, 100%. I don't want to go into like his family ties, but I think they've got a part to play in this. 100%. Look, they're looking for the best. They're looking for the best deal. I get that, right? And the news coming out.
Is this your take on it, Avi, by the way? Or are you just playing devil's advocate here? That
What do
he
you mean?
doesn't owe us anything.
No, I mean, he leaves this.
Because you two are going one way. I've got to go the other way.
No, but deep down, Avi, I know
No,
you.
Deep down, I see it like this. He's been offered to play abroad in Spain. Hear me out. Like, even the people in the comments, you can come for me all you like. That's totally fine. But hear me out. He's been offered a chance at 26 to go to another country to try it out. Yeah, Madrid. And look, he's not going to any other club. He's not going to a rival club in the Premier League. He's going to Real Madrid, the biggest institution in the world. Record European Cup holders, league titles all over the shop. We know the history of Real Madrid. Yeah, since the 60s. Okay. He can go there. I have no problem with him walking away on a free. That's my qualm. Because it comes back to the owners. The owners, and last season, they balled this up. So if he goes on a free, let him. It comes back, the owners comes back on the owners. The owners have fucked this up. In truth, they have.
Avi, there's players like Van Dijk. There's players like Van Dijk. There's players like Salah that can.
They have balls this up. So the
1 second.
owners don't deserve anything. They don't deserve the 100 million.
Okay, you're
That's
telling
not
me,
his fault.
Avi, so you're telling me Real Madrid, there's no other club in world football right now, a Bayern Munich or a Real or a Barcelona, who would not take Virgil van Dijk for 2-3 years on a contract right now.
No, they
They
probably
jump
would.
on him. They jump on him.
They probably
They will
would.
jump but what? He showed loyalty to Liverpool Football Club. He stayed.
But
Avi,
you
no.
could be-
Once Avi,
you could be a Liverpool born and bred.
Avi,
The
1
lure
second.
of Real
Avi,
Madrid, the lure of Real Madrid
1
is something
second.
different too.
1 second. Yes. You're telling me the Leo's isn't there and wasn't there for Salah 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago when Barcelona and these guys wanted him. Van Dijk, the Real Madrid didn't need centre backs in the past. The Leo was always there for these players as well. Why? They showed loyalty to Liverpool Football
biggest
Club.
thing-
They showed
what you
loyalty.
said-
They showed
But you
loyalty.
said but you said that Trent wants
They
to
showed
be a
loyalty,
brand.
mate.
Trent wants to be a brand.
That's
for him
what
to be
I'm
that
saying.
brand, he has to go abroad. Then, if you're saying that he's not well known in the footballing world, if that's what he truly
But then
wants,
that's a
and
then
Madrid
he's a
gives him
selfish
that.
piece of
Madrid
shit.
gives
Then
him
he's
that.
a selfish piece of shit. Then isn't it? We've never been in the
would he be
equation,
selfish?
Avi.
Why the hate? Why would he be selfish? If he wants to
Of
achieve
course he's
something on
selfish.
an
He should have stayed
individual,
with
if
show
he wants to
loyalty
be
to the
that
team.
individual, he's got ambition and he wants to be known. Why is that selfish on his part? Why is it selfish on his part?
Because
He has one
we've
career.
shown loyalty.
Right,
We've shown
footballers have
loyalty
one
to him
career.
for 15 years, mate.
Footballers have one career. Yeah, Real
And,
Madrid come up. He's not going to any club, Gene. He's going to Real Madrid, the best of the very best. The
and he's playing
He's not
he's
going
playing
to
for
Bayern
Liverpool.
Munich
He's
or
playing for Liverpool
Barcelona.
Football Club.
Yes,
He's
I
playing for
accept
Liverpool
that.
Football
But he's
Club.
also
He's not
given
playing for
us-
Latu Patu off the street.
He's
He's
given
playing
us-
he's playing for a team that's won 6 European Cups. Yes, Madrid might be the biggest and the won the most, but we're only third. We're number 3. It's not exactly going to, he's playing for a shit club right now. He's playing for the best team in the world right now, bro. This is it's easy to just say he's going to Madrid. Like, okay, we understand that. I get it. I get that, but he's not exactly playing for shite, bro.
We're not saying that, but Jeanette, if his career takes him to a different path that he wants to explore, why is that a wrong thing that he wants to explore a different path? And unfortunately,
Then don't come out and make him look at this and this and this and this means more to done. This is more. I am more, and Liverpool mean more to me, and all this crap in it.
He's come out a year. Asim, he's come out a year where unfortunately he could go on a free. That's how Madrid operate. They love free transfers. They'll give him a big fat signing on fee check, right, to his brother, to his representatives, and say, listen, come over.
But here's a super chat from Donny. He says these owners are sell to buy, and he knows that, and that's why he's walking out on a free. He's selfish. But I think that statement, thanks for the super chat, Donny, but I think that statement is a bit contradictory, because is it because of the owners that he's leaving, or is it because he's selfish? Which one is it?
This is the best one. I mean, I love that.
I get why people are upset, but my point is, look, he's looking at he might be looking at his career and thinking, look, I've only got another 4 or 5 years at the top. What about if his dream was to experience something outside of Liverpool, Gene?
Then don't say this means more.
No, I know that, but come on.
No, but I'm being serious. I want to be captain of Liverpool Football Club one day. All this spiel.
Well, Gene,
If
I'm
that's
playing
not your
devil's
dream,
advocate. Can you really believe?
Hold on. And Deco, thanks for tuning in. Would you clap him if you play at Madrid? No, I wouldn't clap him. But I will always appreciate what he's done.
Why wouldn't you clap
if he was
him?
to leave, because I'm not cringy like that, fucking clap his hand if a former player comes back. Why would I clap him in front of the TV?
Why? Because then that's not true appreciation.
I appreciate.
No, let me finish.
I would have appreciated. I would have appreciated his time at Liverpool.
If you-
but I'm not going to stand up in front of the TV and say, "Yeah."
No. What Ant means is it's a tradition. Liverpool fans are very knowledgeable, and they appreciate, even like opposing keepers come to the Kop before the game, and they applaud you, and they applaud back. But he says, Avi, would you clap him? Not just literally when he goes on the pitch, but after the game, if he comes to the Kop or any other stand in at Anfield, would you applaud him? You're saying no.
I wouldn't want
Then
to.
if you don't applaud him,
I
after
don't want
the
to be at
game,
Anfield when we play Madrid again with Trent on the other side.
or whatever it is, Avi. But that's not true appreciation then.
I think there's two ways. I think there's a bit of confusion here. I know. Look, the reaction is he's a rat. He's this. He's that. I understand that point of view. But I'm talking as an individual. He wants to experience a different lifestyle, a different culture. He wants to play with Jude Bellingham. Yeah, say Jude Bellingham, Vinicius, Mbappe. He's playing with the world's best boys. Yes, Salah's the best player in the world, but look at that collection of players that he's going to be playing with. You're only going to get that one chance. So I don't have no qualms. If he wants to go, then he thinks that they're the dog's bollocks. Let him be, and he'll soon find out. If those Real Madrid turn on him and they get the white towels out, it will be curtains very soon in his career. Ian Rush found that out when he was at Juventus. Came back a year later.
But Jeans, here's a question for you. How important is the facts? If we don't know the facts here, so obviously we're speculating here a lot. But there could be a situation, realistically speaking, where he wants an X amount, and because of our model, FSG might not think he's worth it, but the fans think he is worth it, albeit he's a right back. But where do you draw the line? Because realistically, Gene, if he's asking for 300, 350, FSG model will think, over the 5 years, that's 80, 90 million pound. We'd rather let him go on a free and spend 50, 60 million on a replacement and have Conor Bradley in that area as well. But we're not privy to these facts at the moment. That's the problem.
It could be.
Sorry.
It's realistic though,
Asim,
Chin.
yeah, look, that is a realistic take. Liverpool could be in a state of thinking, you know what, financially it makes more sense for us to do something like this. We're not as reliant on Trent as we were in previous years, and from a business perspective, it might make sense. But look, I am not lying at him. He is wanting to go. They- How many times, we've sat here deep down, we've all been shitting bricks thinking that he wants out. So all these contracts for me is just prolonging bullshit, bro. Because deep down he wants out. Doesn't matter how he's rejected contracts. He's been offered 3. Somebody said, Fabrizio saying that he's giving an unbelievable contract, a really, really good contract. If the guy wants out, throw whatever contract you want on him. He wants out.
I do like that spin as well. So maybe the club is comfortable with him going.
It's a FSG model. We've let many players go on a free, Avi.
But their model isn't to sell him on a free or let him go on a free.
Recently we have shown an appetite to let players go on a free, though, Avi. They might not be in Trent's, peak years, but we have. Mane was another one. Obviously, we got a fee. We were comfortable to let him leave. Wijnaldum, and there's a few others as well. Obviously, what's changed the goalpost now is Saudi have come. We'll have taken advantage of Saudi in a couple of years, but obviously Trent's not going to go there. There's only one club that wants Trent.
Can I ask you a question? Say if he extends, say if he extends for 3 years, but next summer, not this summer, but next summer, Madrid come knocking for £120 million offer. Would you sell him?
It's a lot easier to take it if you get 120 million fee for him.
So you'd sell him. Say if he produces a good
season. I wouldn't sell him. But if you get 120 million for the fans, it's a lot easier to accept, isn't it? Because you go buy two players. We sold Coutinho, and he was our star player, and it's similar. I think someone put the quotation out from Klopp, all those years ago, saying stay and have a statue in your name, or just go to Barcelona, be just a normal player. But we invested. We bought Alisson and Van Dijk, and we became a different team.
This is what, when I come to Dean Regan, it's got his spot on. Big up Dean as well. He's always now Twitter feeds and chats as well.
Big up Dean.
I don't think Madrid want him for a fee, and I totally agree with that. If
I don't think money they would want him for a fee.
They've looked at him as a golden opportunity. No, I think that's true. They've looked at him as a golden opportunity, and they've said, you know what, let's do everything that we can to get him to Madrid.
But that's the problem now, Avi, is
the media outlets in Spain coming out with it now. So,
well, Avi, the club need to accept a lot of responsibility for letting 100%. Trent run down the contract. That is a big problem for me. Why are we even in this situation? Salah and Van Dijk, I can understand because they're the last stages of their career, even though it's not ideal. But for someone to be entering into their peak years at 26 years of age, it is absolute criminal for him to be officially talking to, potentially talking to teams. Let's not be naive and kid ourselves. His representatives have been talking to Real Madrid. Let's be honest. They know the Real Madrid offer. And if you're going to be receiving 30-40 million pounds signing on fee over across the term of the contract, so effectively he's going to be earning 400-500 grand a week. Liverpool can't compete now. But the reason why they're in this situation now, Avi, is because we let it run down. And a Trent, our biggest asset on the negotiation table, has held every card. And that is the problem. He's got Liverpool by the balls.
Oh no! Well, I think all three have. I think all three have got a brilliant negotiation tactic that's going on. I think they're all playing a great game, and they should look. Van Dijk's 33. Salah's going to be 32. They deserve to be paid what they want for the rest of their 2-3 years at top level football, and see what happens, what transpires after that. So all three have got this club by the balls. There's no question about that. I will also go and say, and I'll also go on record and say, I don't think any of the three are close of extending. But okay, Trent, I don't even think Salah and Van Dijk are close to signing.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know, man. Look, in terms of
we've been hearing
all
week
of this,
in, week out, Van Dijk. The show goes on today. His post.
Oh yeah,
that means nothing, to be honest. Yeah, these type minimal messages. I don't think Van Dijk's that kind of type to say the show goes on tomorrow. We'll see him fucking with a pen and paper signing a contract. Yeah, if they wanted to do a little promo thing, a marketing thing, a branding thing, they would have released it on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or Boxing Day and said, "Here you go, lads. 2 have signed." I don't think any 3 are close to signing yet. I really don't.
And I
what
think
happens
another
now?
thing is,
What happens now? Okay, say if it's public knowledge now that Trent wants to leave or he signed a pre-contract agreement in January, do you play him for the rest of the season in your first 11?
Do you play him? Is that what
Avi,
you're asking?
Your
I
first
want to
11,
win
yeah.
it. I want to win a title. We're paying his wages. You
You
have
don't
to
think
play him.
Bradley's good enough for the next 22 games?
I'm not saying Bradley's not good enough. But I'm just saying you have to do what's right for the football club for us to go and win a title. Of course, if Bradley's if Slot feels that, you know what, I can win the title with Bradley, he wants to start Bradley. That's up to him. Based on Slot, I trust our manager. He's trusted us to do so well with our team so far. If he believes, okay, we can play him at right back and win a title, whatever Slot wants. But if we need him to play, then we should play him. End of the day, Avi, we're paying the man's wages. He has to still produce for us for the next 6 months, whatever it is. That's just the way it is.
I wouldn't play him at all.
Wow.
It's not going to come public knowledge that he's signing. But this wrangle on for 3-4 months.
Why
If
wouldn't
he's
you
not
play
signed
him?
a contract, and we don't even know what's going on, and we keep hearing the same regurgitated articles by journalists saying that, oh, it's ongoing, we're positive about Trent, I wouldn't play him.
Why
The
wouldn't you
football
play
club is
him?
always bigger, and I trust in Slot. That he will have.
I don't understand. This guy talks so much shit sometimes, Avi.
Yeah, why?
You don't care. You don't. You're okay with everything. That by if he wants to leave,
Yeah,
he wants
because
to
I
go
care
over
about the
there.
club. I do care about the club.
But then you don't want. Then you don't want to play him.
Because I truly believe, and you know this as well, that I've rated Conor Bradley for a long time, and he can do a capable job for the last 6 months of the season and beyond.
Avi,
We have a talented pool of right backs coming through the club academy, and I believe Conor Bradley can be that man. If he gets rid of the injuries that he's been having, these hamstrings,
that is
and
the
eye
problem,
sprains and
Avi. Conor Bradley is not Trent. And I think people need to take this out of their head that Conor Bradley can take over Trent. One, he doesn't
no,
have the
stylistically
talent.
they're totally
No,
different.
the
But
problem
I
is
think he's
Conor Bradley's
suited to.
style. If you want to talk about style, Avi, is his game is too intense. One of the reasons why Jota gets a lot of injuries is because he's a busy character, and he just finds himself in different situations, whether is someone's falling on him and breaking his rib, or he's putting a tackle in. Now that is a good that's a good profile to have. It's a good trait to have. But when it comes to injuries, then you have to take your fair share of
No, but that could be
time
like
in the
him.
medical room.
He's
I
20.
think Conor
He's
Bradley's
22 years
game.
old as well. Yeah.
True, but Avi, it's not his.
Your body
game
does
will-
mature.
His
You
game
can't
will
have like growth
mature.
issues and injury issues.
His game will mature, but I think he needs to be very, very careful, even at this young, tender age, where he needs to be careful, because if he gets a few more injuries, it could really affect
He needs
his,
to be tamed. Yeah.
development. Because every time I watch him, I love him. He loves the tackle, he loves the duel, but it's not good because he just keep on picking up injuries and he just never stops. So I think that is a question mark, and this is the reason why we shouldn't think Conor Bradley is just a tailor-made replacement for Alexander Arnold, Trent Alexander Arnold. But the other reason why I would say is pure on talent. And another take, I've been, it's good to hype our own players and it's good to back and support our players. But to say Conor Bradley is more of a Arnie Slot, right back, he suits the system more than Trent. Trent is a generational talent, and I think sometimes our bias in this situation gets in the way to really appreciate and accept Trent's talent. We shouldn't forget Trent's
But
talent,
do we not
even
have
though
trust?
we think he's wrong to leave on a free.
But do you not trust Conor Bradley for the last 22 games of the season, Asim? You don't think we can see it through with him as our full-time right back?
I don't trust him because I don't trust him to stay fit for 22 games.
Okay, but say if he, hypothetically speaking, if he was giving us 22 games, do you believe we can still see the league?
Yeah, the situation we're in, Avi, we could win the league.
Would you, as the situation is now, Asim, then do you continue playing Trent, knowing that nothing's signed? January, February, March, April, May goes through, nothing is signed. Are you happy with playing him every game?
Yes. Avi, no. you have to stay professional, don't you? I don't think he's been throwing games. Do you think he's been throwing games?
I don't think he's been throwing games, but I think there's certain performances where he's been a bit lethargic.
But he did come back from an injury.
Injury as well, and look, he's carrying in, he's getting injuries as well. Last season he was out for a fair few weeks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be that things might align that he might get injured again, and we've got to rely on either a Joe Gomez or a Conor Bradley at right back. It's not a good situation when you're top of the league, when you're leading by 7 points, 9 points. You got a game in hand. You're top of the Champions League. Talking about contracts now, coming up to the new year, I think it's despicable. All the way around, like on the club,
Avi,
I think the agents, everything.
Avi, I think if you refused to play him, because what is that going to achieve?
No, you've seen it happen. You've seen big clubs when a player hasn't signed a contract, they leave him up. Happened to McManaman, Owen.
Did we stop playing?
Other clubs as well. They stopped.
Did we stop playing him?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, McManaman, yeah, he down tools before he didn't play before he went to Real Madrid. And then Owen didn't want to be selected for those Champions League games under Rafa. That's how he got his move, because he was going to be cup tied otherwise if he had played in the qualifiers. It's not an ideal situation. I
think he'll create a toxic atmosphere around the club, Avi. I don't think that's fair.
Oh, believe you me, if results aren't going our way at Anfield and if it's really tight games, the 0-0, and Trent plays a wayward pass, he's going to be getting it from fans. He will be getting it from fans, rightly or wrongly. Look, I'm trying to be impartial as possible. Rightly or wrongly, fans will be turning on him. They've turned on him today on Twitter. It's been poison on Twitter today, calling him a rat, this and that. Does he deserve to be called a rat? Does Trent Alexander-Arnold, other trade, deserve to be called a rat after everything he's given to this football club?
Given what toes, Avi, bro? Given us what? You're making it out like he's given us everything. Say Liverpool's given something to him.
Yes,
Trent's given us. Bro, Liverpool's given to him.
Does he deserve to be called a rat? No.
Yes, call him a rat for leaving us in the lurch.
So then Jurgen Klopp's a rat for talking to Red Bull a couple of seasons back.
Jurgen Klopp wanted to leave us the year before that. One second. Jurgen Klopp wanted to go the year before. He said no, I'll stay because he realized Liverpool needed us at that time. He stayed.
That's what you call loyalty.
He sorted the team out and left. And now he's seeing the rewards, man.
That's what you call loyalty.
I mean, this guy just wants to prove that he's right. Loyalty lies.
It's not that we knew Klopp was leaving.
He was done.
He was done.
But he made sure.
But we know that he was talking to Red Bull as well. 2 years ago, he was talking to Red Bull about this advisory role. We know that. So that makes Klopp a Chua as well then.
Chua.
No, don't give it don't say he's a rat.
Oh, you're not this guy.
We're giving grace. We're giving grace to managers, but players getting called rat, this and that. You'll get turned on at Anfield. You'll get turned on by his own at Anfield. That's not the way Liverpool operate. The fans should not be operating like that. Let's see until officially he's a Real Madrid player or not. Can I say something out there without any exclusive? I still think Trent signs.
Oh, here we go. You just told us Chutti on Twitter half an hour ago.
No, but then I tweeted again. You didn't see the second tweet.
So you've tweeted since then.
I still think that he signs.
You're funny again. Oh, I don't know, man.
Call me Splinter.
What did you actually tweet?
No, I said if this is the end, thank you very much. Chutti. And then I tweeted again. I said I personally still think he does.
You know what, Avi?
It's Grizz, man. Grizz has been saying. Grizz is so confident. He said, Avi, chalo theek hai. If I'm gone, I'm gone. But Trent will sign.
Avi, you are a seasoned ITK. Just the right words at the right time.
Retired.
But anyway, look, I think is there anything else that we need to cover on Trent? Because this is not the last time we're going to be talking about him. Let's be honest. There'll be many emergency shows. Do we want to talk about Liverpool's situation?
All I say is how you Muslims say it is dua karo. That's it. On all three players, dua karo. Honestly, do all the prayers because we need all three to sign. Honestly, we do. It'll be a travesty if 2 out of the 3 or 1 of the 3 leaves. All 3 should be signing. They should be trusting Slot now. If they don't trust Slot, if they didn't trust Slot at the beginning of the season, fine. But they've got to trust in Slot.
The thing, You know the thing is, Avid, what pisses me off is we're back, man. Well, this Liverpool team right now is back on its perch, sort of thing. You can tell this team for the next 3 or 4 years we can go again, and Trent would have been the catalyst for this next generation. And the idiot wants out. If
We
you
don't
want
know
out,
that. We don't know that.
oh come on, Avi. This is no, don't know, not cha.
Listen,
It's
Spanish
not exactly
outlets,
rocket
Spanish media
science, man.
outlets do this all the time with
Avi.
every player. Mbappe, Bellingham, we know they do this.
I mean, is it not a concern that
Of
we don't
course it's
know?
gone.
Oh, no. The reason why I was going to question to you is the narrative, the journalists close to the club is Salah wants to stay, Van Dijk wants to stay, even though they've been a bit more
No, they've
public.
publicly said it. They've
Yeah,
publicly
yeah,
said
they
it.
publicly. But is it not a concern that Trent has not once come out and said, I want to stay, I love this club, this and that, but we don't discuss contracts out in
No,
public?
I want to win the Ballon d'Or. That's
He's
what
not
he
going
said.
to win.
Remember,
He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or
He'll
at
never
Real
win that.
Madrid
He
as
can have
well.
25
no,
assists.
I want to
season,
win the
that.
Ballon d'Or. It wasn't about winning trophies at Liverpool. It was about personal gain. This is what I'm trying to say to you. In that interview, it was about personal stuff. It was nothing about Liverpool or a team winning the Champions League or a title or anything like that. This
Well,
is why he wants out.
to,
If
to
that's the case,
coin Gene's one of
But
Gene's
is Salah,
statements.
is Salah not about private accolades too? Like personal accolades?
at
Salah's
winning
got
them
individual-
at
Salah's got
winning them at
individual
Liverpool
records
Football
too,
Club.
which is fine.
At
which is
winning
good.
them at
For me, it's
Liverpool
fine.
Football Club.
Which, yeah,
But Avi, come on,
listen,
let's
let me
be
tell you one
realistic.
thing.
Avi,
Salah's biggest dream, no, 1 minute, Asim. Salah's biggest dream, yeah, you know what it is to win the African Nations Cup with Egypt. That's it. That's his goal. And that's fine. That's totally fine. He's given a lot to Liverpool. He's given everything to Liverpool. I love Mohamed Salah. But Mohamed Salah's main goal now, till he retires, is to win AFCON with Egypt. That's his one dream left. It's not. I don't think it's to win Ballon d'Or.
I'm telling for my bro, he wants to win. One thing with Salah is I'm telling you, he wants to win another title and a Champions League. Because you know what? He knows how much that elevates him. Yes, of course, because winning that will then give him a chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. If he delivers that title, because his station amongst Liverpool is it goes from you're talking about the greatest player to have played for Liverpool to become the greatest players to have played in the Premier League. Right now, he's fighting it with Henry, but if he delivers one more, he's got every right to say, "Okay, so Henry, bring it on the table, mate. Let's sit down and start talking properly."
Avi.
So there's 1 or 2 trophies. He only needs 1 or 2, and he elevates his station to another level.
Avi, with all due respect,
Go on, Mohammed. Go on,
Avi, with all due respect, there's ambition and there's delusion. If he thinks he's going to win the Ballon d'Or at Real Madrid, like to coin Gene's statement is he bloody in cloud cuckoo land?
No, I do think the shift of the voting has changed now. Who won it this year? Who just won it this year?
Rodri.
So I think there has been a bit of a balance shift. Remember when
I'm telling
Cannavaro
you,
won?
Trent is not going to win. Trent is not going to win the Ballon
I
d'Or
don't
at Real
think-
Madrid.
Trent is not
not
winning
gonna
Ballon d'Or from a team when there's likes of Vinicius, Bellingham, and Mbappe all want to win it more than him. Avi, they all haven't won it yet. They all want to win it before him. And you think Real Madrid are going to push Trent Alexander-Arnold forward? He was the guys off his Rudy Rocker, mate.
And Dean makes a good point as well. He's not even going to get free kicks for Real Madrid. Let's be honest.
Can I ask you? So we move swiftly on now. The Trent's done. Okay, 1 word answer.
Okay.
Asim, Trent, yes or no? And please do not do. Well, Lavi, you know this and that. I want a fucking yes or no. Blunt answer. Yes or no now. Does Trent extend?
No.
Mr. Sajid?
Yeah, obviously. No, I've been saying it from day one, mate.
And you know what? Gene has been saying it since February. So whoever's been in his ear roll at Anfield, the boardroom, at the dinners or at the lunches, while he's been supplying Liverpool his dessert, his brownies, someone's had a word in his ear. It's not the canteen lady either. I will go and say that I think he extends.
Stays.
He extends.
I think all 3 will stay.
Hello.
And that's me being positive now. I want to ask you a question actually.
GG.
Cody Gakpo, can we win the league with him in our starting 11?
Only on the left. Only if you play on the left wing.
Only the left. Only the left.
Cody Gakpo. I saw your tweet earlier.
Okay, first of all, has he surprised you this season? Has he
No.
gotten better? Like in terms of
Of
his
course he got
productivity,
better.
his play, yeah.
Of course he's got better. How old is he? 23?
25,
20?
no,
Is he 25?
25 now.
Okay. Okay, of course, but there was room, a massive room for improvement. You know, you have to understand that to his in his defense that he was playing in different positions, but also it was a lot more basketball. And Cody Gakpo is all about standing the player up, coming inside, and using his biggest strength in shooting. He's one of the, I've said it many times, he's one of the, if not the cleanest striker of the ball in attacking areas across our five attackers, especially. He might not be the best finisher, but he's probably the more pure striker of the ball when it comes to hitting the goal. But has he surprised us? No, because there was massive room for improvement. I can remember when Carragher came out with that famous statement where watching Cody Gakpo is like watching him in reverse or something. And I could understand that. He took a lot of stick for it, but I couldn't understand that statement. But the main difference in Cody Gakpo is Arne Slot has provided him the right environment to flourish. That is the key. In a Jurgen Klopp side, where is a lot more basketball, a lot more emphasis on the counter press, where he was going in areas, whether he was starting on the left, whether he was playing in midfield. That first game against Chelsea, off the ball, he was playing as a double pivot. Cody Gakpo off the ball was playing a 4-4-2 at the edge of their box. That was absolute madness. That's not his game. And even though now, where I think that a Crystal Palace game that he was playing, he was tracking the right back because they had those 10-15 minutes where they were really piling on the pressure. So game states, Arne Slot will make him do the hard work. But when we have more control, where we've got the passing from Van Dijk, and especially where you saw it yesterday, I know it was a bit foggy last night on the TV, but it was a lot better at pitch side, where you've got that switch from Trent to Gakpo, because Gakpo is holding width, and then he's coming with his intensity. I said it earlier on the season when he was showing some good form as well, is he's showing the intensity and speed in his game. And once he gets going, he's very, very hard to stop. You saw that run when he was driving through midfield and got brought down. I don't know who it was, but they got a yellow card for it. But when he gets going, he is a force to be reckoned with. And I said the next step for Cody Gakpo is to stand up as fullback and go on the outside. We've seen it sometimes. I'd like to see it a lot more, because when he brings that to his game, then he could be a really, really special player. And look, I'll hold my hands up. Last year I said, you know what, he wasn't good enough. We can't win the league with him, and maybe that was just a silly statement to come out with. I hold my hands up. But what he is he's a very, very good squad player, and especially the amount of games that Liverpool play or any other club plays, that you need a Cody Gakpo in your side, because he's got the hunger, he's got the desire to score goals, and long may it continue.
Gene, I just want to shout out Trishan Patel coaching. He was with the Pakistan national team as well, doing some coaching stuff with them. So I think he's back now. I think he's just trying to look for work back home. I'll hold my hands up and say he's definitely changed my opinion. He looks more powerful in his running for starts, 5-yard burst of plays, obviously playing him in his true position. Gene, without we leave the tactical stuff to the genius here, with me and you, it's always been about productivity, and it's always been about the numbers. And him and Diaz, I believe Diaz for now, he's been getting his plaudits, but Cody Gakpo, he's producing 10th goal of the season yesterday. He's been a menace on that left-hand side. He can cut in, he can go on the outside. He likes cutting in and crossing from his right, but he's been a true asset to this team, hasn't he?
Yeah. You have to give Gakpo a lot of credit. He's every time he scored some big goals for us as well. Goals against Real Madrid, City, and on the weekend as well when we needed a goal. He turned up, and I give him a lot of credit. My biggest issue with him and Diaz last season was numbers. I've craved that these guys have to produce the numbers. They simply weren't producing the numbers, and I wanted a different left winger. Everybody knows I wanted Gordon in the summer, simply because these two weren't producing the numbers. But I've got to give the two a lot of credit. They've changed my opinion. Diaz, I didn't think was gonna do the numbers. He's beginning to do numbers. Even now, he's moving to the 9 and scoring a few more. Gakpo's produced numbers. Yes, look, I know in the league he's got about three or four in the league now. And I know quite a few of his goals have come in the Carling Cup, but He's in a bit of form now. I think it's his 3 or 4 in
Some say
5 or
that
6.
Genius, some say he's a clutch player. He scores vital goals.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
vital
Like,
game scenarios.
look,
Yeah.
look, I have a go at Sarib, yeah, on because the reason why I have a go at Sarib is because he bigs Gakpo to bring Diaz down. I don't. I will give big both of them because for me, Liverpool is the most important thing. I don't give a shit about anything else. I want to win, right? So when Gakpo, I wanted him to produce, and right now you have to give him a load of credit. He's producing, and just I know those times where I give him shit. He comes inside and he's always looking for that same dinked cross, but that dinked cross works.
It does
It's
work.
worked a few times, and
More often
he
than
does
not.
manage to put it off. I know he does it a bit too often. Sometimes you do feel like saying, go on the outside, go down the line, and manage to put the ball into the box. But his numbers are improving, and look, all our forward line, um, has produced. And I've got to give Slot a lot of credit. He's managed to keep all of them happy. He's managed to keep all of them sort of fresh. Of course, look, there's one that still needs a bit of work on. I don't know if that's gonna work out, but he's a player. He plays for Liverpool right now, and we have to, support him and carry on. But what's your thoughts, Avi, in terms of look? Obviously now Chiesa's coming back as well. We've got
Please,
5 or 6,
please don't insult me
5
with
or
that name.
6, 5 or. I'm telling you, Chiesa is gonna show you in another 3,
Show
4
me
months'
what?
time. She's gonna show you
3-4
in
months time, the
April.
season's going to be over.
In
Yeah,
April,
when
when
the
it
season's going to be
matters,
over by March,
when
April,
it
and you're saying
matters.
3-4 months. Asim, he has the audacity to say 3-4 months to me. Waiting 3-4 months.
I think he meant 3-4 weeks.
Listen, before we go, Tina, you're on mute. Before we go, selection, big up, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, Happy Holidays as well if you're not celebrating Christmas and all that.
Big up selection, man. Big up.
On a scale of 0 to 10, how mid is Diaz out wide? Gakpo is mid too, but he's definitely better at taking his marker, whether going outside or in. Selection, you followed me for how many years? And for how many years on various channels did you hear me say that Luis Diaz, as a 9 in the Premiership, would be out of this world? I don't think he's mid out wide. I think there's certain games where he'll still be playing out wide. I think Gakpo is brilliant. I think Gakpo has honestly surprised me, and I always wanted Gakpo to do well because I have got a strong affiliation with Dutch players, just the flair and they bring to the Premier League and the previous Dutch players around the world and players that have played in the Premier League before, like Overmars and Van der Vaarts and Schneiders of this world. Gakpo's a good player, and look, if they continue, we could be talking about the end of the season that Diaz with 20 and Gakpo with 20 goals. Together. So that's 40 goal contribution just with goals for the both of them. Why not? The games that we're playing, they could be there. Gina, you asked me about the forward line. Look, Chiesa, I want him to do well. I think when he signed at the club, you could see how happy he was. I think it's not going to happen for him personally, and I hope I get egg on my face. I hope he proves me wrong, and I hope he can push Salah, for that spot on the right or even on the left, or even maybe as a running 8. You never know.
He's coming for that number 9 and left hand side position. I mean, I'm telling you right now, mate. People think he's coming to. People think he's coming for Salah's position. I'm telling you, he's coming for the other 2. Watch.
But right now, I don't want to include him right now either. I don't include.
Okay,
him.
fair. Okay.
Jota's come back. Look, the big question mark, and I know it's about the team, and we're going to back him no matter what. We're going to back until the end of the season and beyond. Darwin Nunez is a concern. Darwin Nunez for me is a concern now. It's been 3 years. Do we trust him in a one-on-one situation? We might not need to trust him this season because we're so far ahead, touch wood, that we win the league at Akanta. But do we trust him on a one-on-one? If you're not trusting your number 9, and that's what he's predominantly signed for, then it's curtains for his career at Liverpool, unfortunately. Benfica, he would get chances galore in every game and he would score goals. But at a club like Liverpool in the Premier League, it's few and far between. You get 1 or 2 chances, you've got to be converting 1, or at least make a real effort. Yesterday he was okay, he was running, we got the win. But for me, I think Darwin Nunez, I think it's definitely a serious question in the summer. And if we can recoup 40 to 50 million, we're good sellers. We are very good sellers when it comes to players. Then I think his career will be at an end.
Yeah, I mean, look, as well as anyone that I've been a massive Darwin backer, but you can't just be stubborn in your support, where you have to draw a line for the betterment of the team, and where Darwin Nunez is at the moment, how slot Sheen has been using that striker is they've been coming into the pockets, and that's not been suiting Darwin Nunez. And the way we've, even when he's been coming in, we've been sort of saying, look, his technical ability and his interplay, sorry, is getting better. But the crux of the matter is Arnie Slot's system is not going through him, and the need for that player to come into the pockets and really connect play and to go on both sides has warranted a Diaz type of player, and we haven't have that, destroyer in the midfield. And maybe it's warranted Arnie Slot to think about the striker, to think, okay, we need to generate a bit more control because we don't have the extra physicality in midfield. We've got technicians in midfield, even though the likes of Soboslai and Gravenberg have provided physicality in their own brilliant way. And you could say Gravenberg has surprised everyone, including the manager. We've already talked about how brilliant he's been, but maybe the use of the striker has been because of the lack of control. Um, and Diaz has brought that, and we've all of a sudden, especially in the last month and a half, 2 months, we've talked about a Bobby Firmino type of profile, and the likes of, and that's why Salah has been playing a bit more inside, or he's allowed to play on the inside, especially if the right back has been overlapping at times, or Szoboszlai is going on the outside, and also allowing Cody Gakpo. We've been talking about he's holding width, but if he's making those diagonal runs inside, or if Salah's got the ball, he's been making the run down to the back post. It's suited absolutely everyone. So look, I've said it, and I give Avi his flowers because he's been talking about it a long time. But when I've seen it in real life, I've really liked the use of Diaz coming in those pockets, because like I said many times, he's just so comfortable at connecting, and he's created overloads on whichever side he's been at, and he's played on the transitions really well. And that's the good thing about Diaz. He's not just a Bobby Firmino, a connector, a catalyst on the halfway line. When we've got that counter attack, he can put his foot down. He's not obviously Darwin Nunez, but he's not a slouch either. So he's an all-round player, and maybe it allows us to have that goal threat. Cody Gakpo is a bigger goal threat than Diaz on that left hand side
He
because of
is.
his ball striking ability. So it's given us best of both worlds, and I think Arnie Slot has really liked it.
My biggest issue with Darwin is he's actually even like yesterday, he looks lost, Asim. Like it's just the game bypasses him. There's nothing. I don't see anything that he offers this Liverpool team. Honestly, I don't see.
Wow,
He doesn't
wow.
offer us any. He doesn't really offer us anything in terms of, okay. Does he all offer anything? Hold up play, in
I
touch up
think at
play.
the moment he
What does
offers
he
us coming
really?
off the bench, Gene.
Okay, off the bench maybe here and there, but as a star, as him, I look and I
No, I
look.
don't think he's a starter.
I watch him and I think, you know what? Just give me something, man. I think, you know what? Zilch, mate, zilch. Game after game,
I I
zilch. And James mentions his runs in behind, mate. When was the last time we saw Darwin Nunez make them runs? Because there's no space. We play a different type of way of playing football now. He's expected to play as a nine. You don't even see that. The chaos is gone. He doesn't even look like chaos himself.
Gene,
Forget him playing chaos. He
Gene,
doesn't even look like chaos himself.
I think he's still playing with the monkey on his back. I really do. I still
Forget the
don't think
monkey on
he's.
his back,
I
man.
still think he's playing with that pressure. I don't know what it is. That number 9 shirt. I think he's playing with that pressure still. Gene, 3 years on. Not like he does everything right. He gets in the goal scoring positions. He's just so frantic, and that's not been
He hasn't
developed.
even had
And
any chances to be.
you think that composure can be taught. Composure can be developed. But he's still
I beg to differ, Avi. We haven't seen Darwin Nunez be allowed to be Darwin Nunez because of Slot. We can check the heat maps. We can check how many channels he's been running down to. He's making an impact on Liverpool's play on the counter attack. You see a lot of a good play of Darwin Nunez this season is in transition, because he will always have that trait. The problem is Slot system and the way Slot has structured his team. He's not allowed to, Darwin Nunez to play. When was the last time you saw him make that channel run in behind the defenses from a massive Trent ping, Avi? Tell me. But in the Jurgen Klopp side, we used to see that right back
Just,
ping, and then he can just go in behind and cause chaos. But he doesn't allow Trent to be Trent. But because Trent is so good at that ping, you'd be stupid not to take advantage of it. But you just try to, control it as best as possible and just do it on your own terms. And he has been, to his credit. But in terms of Darwin Nunez, I don't think he trusts him enough for him to play his game through him. And all the heat maps, all the passes to him, all the stats, all the touches in the box, all prove that Arnie Slot has nullified the strength of
and it's not
and
nullified.
I'm not saying Arnie Slot is at fault here,
Come
Avi.
on, man.
No, Gene, I'm not saying Arnie Slot is at
Are you
fault
having a
here.
laugh?
I'm not saying Arnie Slot is at fault.
Alisson basically told him to stop playing football.
You know, Gene, if you're
We're
not
not.
playing,
He's not
no,
playing
no,
to
my
his.
point
He's not
is
playing to his true strengths.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing. If we're winning games, that's the
Okay,
right call.
bro, you're
What
not.
I'm saying, Gene, that's just a fact. When
No, but he must
Okay.
have come.
No,
He
you
must
have
have.
to disagree
No, but
there.
Asim, he's
What
got
I'm
a
trying to say
specific
is-
role that he must be
So let me
performing.
finish. Let me
There
finish.
must be a role that he has to be performing
Sorry.
under Slot. Like yesterday, there must have been a set instruction. These I want you to perform. And what is it then? What's the
The
specific role
instruction
that he's been
is-
told to play?
I'm privileged enough to sit behind him every week or every fortnight whenever
I
we
do
play
support him, Dom. I support him. I support him. I
mean-
just don't understand.
Avi, every time he gets the ball, when we get the ball from the keeper, he tells him, Darwin,
Sorry,
or whatever he calls it. I mean, he does this. He wants him to come into that left half space. Now that is I'm telling you, I'll go back to that game, Avi, Chin. We watched that Charity Shield against Manchester City
Yes, we did.
Yeah. At Leicester, I think it was.
Yeah.
And all it's a glorified preseason game, but it was a good game. But what it showed us, that game where the connection between Salah and Darwin Nunez. Salah was the heat maps came out even later on in the season where that connection was. He was assisting. That's when I know he was a creator all the time, but that's when the first time ever he was getting recognition of being a creator. How many times did you see Darwin Nunez make that run?
They had a good relationship between the two.
And then we also, because of Darwin Nunez, tried to get Trent a lot closer to him to play that channel ball from midfield. One of the main reasons as well, obviously we were shit defensively as well, but one of the reasons earlier in the preseason to get Trent to come into midfield was to get him closer to the
Closer
nine,
to Trent.
playing on the shoulder on defenses. That's what I mean about nullifying Darwin Nunez. I'm with Arnie Slot here. If it means, you choose your best tools, and he's played his game around the likes of, the fullbacks coming into the underlaps and the overlaps, and Salah and Cody Gakpo are getting output. That is fine by me. But I don't think he trusts him because his game is need of a player to come into midfield and interchange with the rest of his teammates. And I don't think he's that player, Avi. And if you don't fit this manager needs, then fine by me, because Liverpool and Arnie Slot have been proven right.
A couple of super chats that I just need to go into selection again. We're not facilitating for a striker, in brackets Darwin. We're not using his best attributes either. And then another one from selection is majority of the attacking traffic is to Salah, in my opinion.
Have you did the other super chats as well?
I'll get them. Calm yourself, please. Yeah, you're not in charge. You've never been in charge of the admin stuff. Yeah, so you just
you've done selections, but nobody, the ones that came before that, I forgot about them. Selections is
let's go to the one. One from
Kibriazo.
AK.
No.
Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to take a page out of Zubimendi's book.
Avi,
if there's any mountains in Liverpool.
Can I mention?
One
we were
second.
talking about loyalty.
I'm going through super chat.
Take it.
Yeah, I'm the last person you want to ask about loyalty. I've been wished and washed and signed for different channels all my career, so don't talk to me about loyalty, please.
No.
I'm the biggest Maharami. Don't worry about that. Mohammed Kibriya, blessings to you. Happy holidays to you, Kibriya. I hope everything is well with you. Trent would be the first to leave when we're winning.
When we're winning. Avi, talking about Trent, and we were talking about loyalty as well, and you were questioning what is loyalty, is just overhyped and exaggerated in the footballing world. There's a midfield that plays for us. He was playing for Brighton a few years ago, and he was in the last 6 months of his contract, McAllister, and he signed a contract extension with a very, very reasonable and realistic release clause. because he wanted Brighton.
It wasn't a realistic release clause.
35 million.
But
wasn't really-
35 million, he's worth about 50, 60 in that market. He's a 50, 60 million pound player. We got him dirt cheap. That's the only reason we went for
That's
him
my
either.
point. But that's my point.
It's
He
not
could
loyalty.
easily-
He's showing loyalty.
Towards Brighton, he did.
Well, he kind of robbed them for an extra 20 million if you think about it, though, Asim.
Why? Because he
They
signed a
could've got
contract, so they get 35 million.
They could have got 50, 60.
He could have.
But Trent knows that if he signs an extension, he knows Real Madrid not going to come for him and pay 100 million for him. That's not how they operate now.
But what if Liverpool? What if Liverpool say, okay, sign a contract and go for 50 million? You're telling me Real Madrid won't pay 50 million for Trent?
No, I can't see it.
That's a bargain.
I can't see it. Honestly, I can't see it.
Real Madrid won't pay 50 million for Trent.
I don't think that he'll put a
Why?
release clause
Because
of 50 million.
they're
Trent
gonna
Alexander-Arnold won't put a release clause for 50 million.
they're paying him 50 million. Realistically speaking, let's be honest, a signing on fee.
On a
So if
signing
they
on
can
fee,
pay
yeah.
40-50 million to Trent and get him a 400-500 grand a
But
week,
that's- But again, you're talking hypothetically, but he's not going to be. There's no way that he's going to be doing that. Asim. That he's going to sign a contract, but have an agreement. Look, if Real Madrid come knocking in January or next summer, I want to be off at a reasonable price. Come on, FSG won't agree to. No, forget about FSG. Richard Hughes and the model that we have will never agree to that. So they know if they want you, you got to pay 120 million. Like apparently Coutinho had this 100 million.
no, they're
with
businessmen.
Barcelona.
Avi, they're astute business-minded people.
As
They know it's either nothing or 50 million. They're taking 50
I
million.
feel this is the only opportunity window for Trent to leave. I don't think if he signs now, they'll never go in for him again. Yadra, they won't come in.
I don't believe it.
27, 28, 29, they won't come in for him.
No,
He's not a 22-year-old where he can sign a contract and they'll come knocking again. Like with Jude, when he extended at Dortmund or when he was at Dortmund, they came for him and paid 100 million. They're not going to pay 100 million for a right back in Trent. They're not. I agree, Atik. A contract for 50 million buyout clause would never be signed. It won't be signed.
We don't do buyouts anyway.
yeah, but Avi,
Remember,
do we have a choice right now?
they wouldn't do. I know we don't have a choice, but we won't do it. Look, even Emery can. That was his thing, innit? He said, "Chutti, mate, do one."
Asim, Nathan Quinn, thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Who should Liverpool target in January? Name your player. If you wanted one player realistically, who's that player going to be? Just a player.
Kirkes.
Surprised. Cheap.
Kirkes.
It's a realistic target, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is this the time
I
that
did-
we give you your flowers again?
I did tweet No. I did tweet 2-3 weeks ago that I think there's been a makeshift in the Kirkes.
You
stuff.
mentioned another left back, didn't you?
Nathaniel Brown of Frankfurt, very good youngster. But I
Good
do
player?
very good player. Very attacking pace. Reminds me a little bit of Anthony Robinson. That Robinson fellow of Fulham. He's American too, but he's got Germany wanting to play for the national team, so I think he's picked Germany. Okay, interesting. For me, it's got to be Zubimendi if there's one in January.
What about Serki?
Sure,
No.
okay.
If you're bringing in Cherky, where does that leave Harvey Elliott? I think they're too similar. Cherky's got the tricks and the bags and all the little flicks and stuff. Where does Elliott doesn't even get?
Yeah,
any
look,
out.
Dean mentions that Mendes, United won that Mendes. I really
Mendes.
like this Mendes, man.
Nuno Mendes.
Oh, from PSG.
I really like him.
He's a good player.
I
He's a
tell
good
you
player.
who we definitely should be. And when people were talking about Lenny Euro, I said we were definitely not in for Lenny Euro. I did say that to keep an eye out on Jarell Hato or Lukeba. So Hato, I think,
You know, Mendes, if Man United can get him, why can't we get him, man?
maybe he's not the profile that we want, Gina.
He's a proper. He's a left back.
What do you make?
Kirk
What do you make of Cherky, Asim?
I think.
Would you take a punt for 12 million? Would you take a punt?
12 million.
That's what they want.
I think someone has to leave then in that front line.
Elliott goes out on loan.
I don't see Liverpool getting any benefit from Harvey Elliott going out on loan. If you bring in Shirky, then you have to make a decision on Harvey Elliott.
That's why I don't believe the Cherky stuff. I don't think, even if it's an opportunity, I don't think.
I think he's a brilliant footballer. It depends on How
Is he a slot footballer?
is he a what?
Slot footballer.
From
The
what
way
I've seen
the
at the
way we operate
moment,
as a four, as the pressing eight, like whether it's Szoboszlai Jones, can he do that role? Can he be that pressing machine? I can't see it. He's a bit
I
of a
can't
lazy
see that
bugger.
either, if I'm honest
He's a
with you.
bit of a lazy
It's not
bugger.
about his lazy. It doesn't
yeah,
look like he's got that in his.
I get what you're saying, but can you play out wide for someone like a
Play
Conor
from the right.
Bradley
He can play from the right. He
running up and down?
can play from the right. I think in case Salah.
Yeah.
Then he's got this jump just is about Chiesa, isn't it? So where does that leave Chiesa? I think that's
one
not.
of our
I think that's a not.
one of our five needs to leave if he's going to come. I think Ryan Shirky really made sense if Chiesa didn't come.
I think it's a bit of a non-starter for me. Nunez goes in the summer. Name me one player that you want to bring in a forward, and it could be someone that you want to upgrade from the academy level who gets a real chance next season too. But give me a player.
Look, I think everybody. If there was one player anybody could buy right now, number 9, that's Isak. Everybody wants him. Bloody hell, man! The guys.
Do you think that's a realistic target for us?
Javi, if they miss out on Champions League again, why not?
How many years has Isak got on his contract?
Another 2 years to run, 3 years maybe to run.
He's gonna be 100 million then, no?
Yeah.
Wait, let me just check. Wait, if you want him, you pay the door.
Of course.
A forward for you. If it's not you,
He still has more than 3 years left.
More than 3 years, Pull Lijao. FSG.
He's until 2028.
I'm happy to stick with Luis Diaz and Chiesa to do that number 9. Huh?
Yeah, you're going to say similar to what I was going to say.
I'm happy to do that. And I've said it in previous shows as well. And buy an out and out winger. Again, one of your boys is Nico Williams. I'd do that. Because we've still got Gakpo can do bits in mid. You might not want to start him up top, but even like we saw against Leicester, Nunez was coming out to the left, Gakpo was coming central areas. I think we can do a job, and I just convert Luis Diaz centrally on a permanent basis, and bring an out winger, because I still think we lack that. Salah doesn't have the pace that he's not a slouch by all means, but he doesn't have. He's lost a yard. Easily.
Kieran Morrison, Trent, Doherty, not ready yet.
Nowhere near.
But I tell you what. Every time I've seen Dan's come on. He came on.
I was that.
I have a feeling. Just switch the touch. He touched the ball once. I said to Asim, I've seen enough. I want Nunez out. I want Dan's over him.
I have a feeling that we're pinning high hopes on Dan's in the upcoming season next year. But
Dan's is another guy who can do bits in the central area, like Diaz.
No, I think he would be only in as a 9. As a 9.
Of course. He doesn't have the pace.
If there's one player that I think forward line, I think meets the metrics. I'm not saying the club are interested. I would say it's that Luis Openda of Leipzig.
Leipzig, yeah.
But I know the club. They think, and someone, Mr. Bate Red, thank you for tuning in. Tyler Dibling is one. Not as a forward though. I think in a midfield. I think as a fourth attacker, the Szoboszlai Jones role. But then where do you put them two as well? But Tyler Dibling.
I think Dibling is a right winger for me, who can do bits.
Bit of a throwback. Jack Grealish, you could say, yeah.
I think he is. From what I've seen.
Are we winning the league, Asim?
Of course we are. We're favourites. We're 6 now ahead with the game in hand. But I had a look at our fixtures. There are some tricky ties, tricky away games in that list. Brentford, Nottingham Forest is going to be. Always difficult.
I think we're going to see a swing in our favour this weekend as well. I think Brentford will get the better of Arsenal.
What score was it today? Brighton Brentford.
Oh,
no, 0-0.
0-0.
Okay.
Brentford Arsenal will be tricky.
Billy asked me, Nico Williams or Liao? Nico Williams.
Nico.
Oh, I like how you changed your tune, Gene. Rafa Liao, I want Liao. I mean, Liao.
I saw Nico Williams once, Avi. I made my mind up.
He's had a bit of a slow start this season on Nico Williams. It's been a year of, I think me and Dean.
Avi, Craver or Nico?
Huh?
Craver or Nico?
I've been a Nico boy.
Avi, Nico Williams, Liao.
I do like Kvaratskhelia. I think he's a special footballer. But Napoli, they're so hard, and especially now with Conte, I don't think he would want to leave either. They're playing some good football, top of the league.
Oh,
Who I
Dean
fancy
got that as well.
But yeah, James, me and Dean were on this on Twitter. It's been a year of mature. His brother's actually doing the numbers this year, funnily enough. And Archie Williams is doing the numbers for them now. So credit to them.
Oh, Avi, here's a shout.
But
Arsenal fans I've heard really want
Lookman.
Lookman.
Yeah, they've been linked to them. Yeah, I think
They want him to
Turkish.
replace
Turkish on
Martinelli.
AFTV, what they were talking about. Lookman's apparently been, but I don't know.
They
He
want him
never
to
really
replace
got.
Martinelli, don't they?
He never really got going in the Premier League, but maybe he's come back. He'll come back as a mature footballer, similar to Salah.
How old is Lookman?
I think it'd be 26, 27 now, no?
He always played well against us, didn't he?
Oh, I always turned up against all the gate.
Lookman, how old is he? Adamola Lookman, 27 years, 27. But
27.
where's Sterling fitting in? Sterling can't even get
26, 27.
Sterling is finished, Avi. They're going to send him back.
Asim, Mamouche.
FSG type of signing, isn't it, Avi? Numbers are screaming out this season. I think the only guy who has got more goal involvements is Mohamed Salah. So he's the Egyptian prince, could be playing with the Egyptian king next season. He can play on the right, he can play on the left. He's been playing a lot centrally as well. So maybe
could he be the heir to the Egyptian king at Liverpool?
he could be. But
One Egyptian in, one Egyptian out. One in, one out.
Hold on.
Wax on, wax on.
No, man. There's
I
no
mean,
happening here, man.
A big
what
shout
I would
out.
say,
Go on.
but what I would say is he reminds me a lot of Luis Diaz type of profile. He might not have that, electric pace that we saw Luis Diaz had. But he's that profile. Yeah, he's that profile. Would I be against the idea? No, but he's had a one big breakout season. Will FSG take that risk? Because he is going to be 50, 60 million, isn't he, Avi?
Yeah, and he's plays for the same club as that Nathaniel Brown, Frankfurt.
How old is he, Mamouche? 25, 26?
25. Big shout out to John Santos. He's been my favorite player outside of the Premier League grinders.
He signed a new contract though, hasn't he?
I think he was in talks, but he's a top player.
Yeah, I like him.
Really come of age, grinders, top player.
Looks like Sarib just finished work as well.
End of the day, boys.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Sarib
will be back. I know he's been missed. Sarib will be back. What is the schedule, Asim, as the Bone and Red founder?
We're not allowed to talk about
Post-match on Sunday. There's definitely the four will be back on post-match. And then hopefully we'll be celebrating some contract news, maybe not. But yeah, hope everyone enjoying themselves in this festive season.
I mean, he's a shout. He's a shout to be a Trent replacement.
That rings Brian. That's that.
I'll give you a legitimate name now.
That's a throwback.
I'll give you a legitimate name. Sorry if you forgot my name as well. Gene, Asim and Chip, please.
But I think that's Sarib's.
Have some respect.
I don't think that's Sarib.
Who is it? How many Sarib Khalils do you know?
This is Sarib.
He's got burners. He's got burners everywhere.
How many burners?
No, you know what? He's got burners.
Look at how many burners he's on, man. Look at that. You messed up today, man.
Boys, listen, let me tell you, give you a name now. In 5 years' time, this channel is still running with 11k followers. We'll remember the name. Lennox Conde. There's a name for you, boys.
Here we go. I love idea.
He is Trent.
I thought he was going to say.
In the years to come, Lennox Conde. Remember the name.
I thought he was going to say Lennox.
Good shout for Monaco as well.
I thought he was going to say Lennox Lewis for a second. Who is this Conde? Who is Conde? Who is he?
He's in our academy. I think he's just had an ACL. He's about 15, 16. But but he's a talent. The boy's a talent.
Chalo, let's see what happens.
Does this include me?
Let's get on a call, lad.
I'm going, man. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Sarib, does this call include me, Sarib? Yes or no? Here we go. And Billy, I don't know if he's on the...
Let's do it tomorrow.
Billy must be on the mushroom because he's naming every Tom, Dick and Harry.
You know what,
Billy, haven't got your Christmas list.
shout out to Billy Avi. He knows his players. Trust me.
Oh,
Honestly.
he puts
Oi,
every
Avi,
timeline, knows his players. He named
Avi,
every time. He plays football
Avi.
manager in his bedroom, and he just puts in every
Yeah,
right.
but what you do, you go on YouTube, type in top 20 European talents, and copy and paste it and put it on Twitter. What do you do? Go flipping catch a flight and watch them.
I don't even know who Billy's mentioning.
Anyway, time up
Anyway,
now.
it's been all good, guys. Love and respect to everyone that tuned in today. We had to go today. It's been a week out. I've been ill. Gina's been ill. Asim's been on some kind of mushroom as well. But it's been a great show. Please like and subscribe, guys. Please just keep liking and subscribing, and we will promise to do more content coming your way each and every week going into 2025. God bless and see you guys on Sunday. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.